One tip I can have when you're surrounded by like the blue pill and whatever type people, be curious. Treat it as like what is this? Like, why do these people exist? Why do they feel this way? Like,
Yeah.
use it as an exploratory opportunity rather than, oh, I have to change the way they think, or these people are broken, because that's gonna make you mad. Or if you have kind of a curious, like childlike curiosity about like why, you'll have fun with it, and you'll be able to kind of giggle and laugh about it while you're in the moment.
Let me ask you this. On a scale 1 to 10, how important would you personally rank having a solid inner game just in life? Not even talking about girls.
10, because it's again, it's always going to come out. It's always going to come to the surface. If you don't have your inner stuff sorted, it's always going to come back up to the surface.
It's so true. It'll come out
You
in your
can't
actions.
you can't keep it buried. You can't keep it buried down.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not one of these people like, oh no, share your emotions and be more emotional. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's like you got to figure out what that demon is, and you got to route that thing out of there. You got to kill it.
You have to. And that's the thing. When you have these demons inside you, these unresolved traumas, shit. And if you just like constantly like a lot of people like to stuff it down and like, like just I'll deal with it later or deal with it later. All it does is build up more and more and more and explode at a larger point later in your life. So yeah,
I've noticed there's like a lot of friends I've had in the past that were like addicts with stuff. That was their problem. Was they had some kind of inner demon that they refused to deal with, and then they shifted the focus onto like, oh, well, I'm an alcoholic, and then they focus their attention on being alcoholic, and that's the reason why whatever's happening, and they still don't deal with their inner demon.
I know a lot of guys that that are, they don't even realize that they're running away from something, and they're constantly fucking they're constantly dealing with fucking some kind of internal issue, but they're covering it with girls or covering it with party, covering it with work, right? Covering it with drugs, you name it.
Fitness, even like being super jacked and not having any other skills anywhere else.
Yeah. And so looking at everything, it will absolutely come out and wreck you. It'll fucking destroy you. And if you don't get this shit resolved, like, it's inevitable, right? It's absolutely
time bomb.
It is a ticking time bomb. And I think that's what guys like. They don't need. I think that's another thing too, right? I don't think a lot of these guys realize that how important this shit really is. Because it's unbelievable how this really permeates throughout every part of your life. It'll permeate through your fitness routine, dietary, right? Career, cryptocurrency trading, girls, sex, like it'll come through everywhere. One thing I've noticed, right? I'll tell you what I did. I'm going to talk about this on an episode later this month, but I'm just going to talk about it now. I'm just going to share it with you. And for the guys watching, guys, please click the like button, by the way, because that's what you have to do on YouTube. So please like it.
Like and share,
please. So in November, I did some deep work, right? In the beginning of November. And I had pulled out some seriously deep fucked up trauma because I didn't realize how fucked up my childhood was. I just,
bad.
Yeah.
I had a great childhood. I can't complain.
I just love how you nonchalantly like, yeah, it was pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Look, I'm listening. I listen to some people's things and like I was shocked. That was a big thing with me as an adult to like learn some compassion about it. It's like not everybody had a cool childhood like I did.
Yeah, definitely. So there was a time where I just kind of thought my childhood was like kind of bad. And I didn't realize it was like so bad, but we actually went into depth with it with Ryan from innermasculine.com, and he's like, damn, I didn't even know it was that fucked up, right? So we did a lot of work. I was doing sessions with him. I was doing sessions with Paul, and like really, really like working on myself. And something pretty crazy happened, right? After I did all these sessions, right? My compulsion, I had like this hunger that I thought was like just natural male hunger, but I just had like this fucking compulsion to like consistently go and fuck girls, go and fuck them and like get them, to have a bunch of sex. And I've had sex with like 240 something girls at this point now. So I've had sex with a lot of girls. And that desire went away because I had forced myself to go on some dates to like just kind of like I was like, what the hell's wrong with me? Why do I feel like this? And I fucked a bunch of girls, but it was like really not satisfying. It like the high I got from it before was not there anymore. And I didn't really need it. And I was like kind of beside myself. I was like, why do I just not have like this crazy impulsive like desire to fuck everything anymore? And I think I was using chicks. I know I was using chicks as like external validation thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And once I was able to resolve the trauma from my childhood and like, not being loved by my mom and all that shit, right? It's insane. Like it's like completely I'm good to go. And I think that a lot of the guys who come to this space, they have a lot of mommy issues or they have a lot of validation issues. And they think that like, oh, I want to fuck a bunch of girls because then I'm going to feel happy. Then I'm going to be like the man. And don't get me wrong. Definitely go have sex. Enjoy yourself as a man. If you're a girl, stop. Don't go fucking have sex. Like go home and bake bread, like, but if you're a guy, go out there and fuck, right? It's cool. It's going to give you experience. But the compulsion to do it, I think, is really by a lot of guys driven from an unhealthy place of insecurity. That's my opinion. And by no means am I going to be like, like don't go fuck girls because I know what it's like to be young, horny, and all that shit. Definitely want to learn it so you know what you like, what you don't like, what kind of girls you're into, what kind of girls are like red flags.
You haven't dated a lot of girls, you don't know what's out there.
Yeah,
you're gonna get stuck with somebody who's not a good match for you because it's the only girl you're getting to have sex with. Right. You need experience.
Yes,
you got to test drive.